You spent 40 years showing up, early mornings, long commutes, deadlines you didn't choose, responsibilities you carried whether you felt like it or not, and you did it. You earned every single day of rest that was coming to you. But now that it's here, it's quiet, and that silence doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like something is wrong with you. I want to say something to you right now. Before we go any further, you are not broken. But what is happening inside your brain is real. It is measurable. And today, we are going to talk about exactly why retirement triggers what psychologists call an identity crisis. And more importantly, the 3 specific things that can help you reclaim your sense of purpose and self-worth. Let me introduce you to a concept called structural identity. For most of your adult life, 30, maybe 40 years, your job wasn't just a paycheck. It was the answer to the question every stranger asked within 60 seconds of meeting you. So, what do you do? And you had an answer: nurse, engineer, teacher, accountant, manager. That title wasn't just a label on a business card. It was a framework, a structure that gave you a reason to wake up at a specific time every morning, a social world colleagues who knew your name, your jokes, your history, a daily mission, problems to solve, people to help, things that needed you, and most powerfully, a consistent daily sense of usefulness. Now, here's where the psychology becomes fascinating and important. The human brain, even at 65, even at 75, is fundamentally a goal-seeking machine. There is a region of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, and its primary role is to plan, to pursue, and to feel rewarded when a goal is achieved. Every time you completed something at work, finished a project, helped a customer, solved a problem, your brain released a chemical called dopamine. That is your brain's reward signal. It says, well done, you matter, do it again. Retirement quietly cuts off that chemical feedback loop overnight. And here is what most people don't realize. Your brain does not interpret free time as rest. It interprets it as a warning sign, as uselessness, as threat. Research in retirement psychology consistently shows that within the first 6 to 18 months after retiring, a significant number of people experience symptoms that closely mirror clinical depression, not because they are mentally ill, but because the psychological scaffolding their identity was built on has been removed, all at once. The developmental psychologist, Erik Erikson, one of the most influential minds in the history of human psychology, identified that adults in later life face a fundamental inner conflict he called generativity versus stagnation. In plain language, the human soul at this stage of life has a deep biological need to feel that it is contributing something meaningful to the world. When that channel is suddenly closed, the brain begins to struggle. And that struggle can look like irritability you can't explain, restlessness in the evenings, a quiet sadness you don't quite have words for, sleeping too much or not enough, finding yourself reaching for your phone more than you used to, searching for something without knowing what. I want you to hear this clearly, and I want you to remember it. This is not weakness. This is neuroscience. Now I want to pause and speak directly to someone else for just a moment. If you are an adult child watching this, maybe you stumbled across this in your feed, or maybe someone you love sent it to you. I need you to stop what you're doing and really hear what I'm about to say. That parent of yours who calls a little too often, who seems short-tempered or irritable or just not themselves anymore, who you sometimes quietly wonder if they're going downhill and then immediately feel guilty for thinking it. They are not being clingy. They are not going downhill. They are going through one of the most psychologically significant transitions a human being can experience in an entire lifetime. And they may not have the vocabulary to explain it to you. Honestly, they may not even fully understand it themselves. Think about it this way. Imagine someone walked into your life tomorrow and in a single day took away your job, your daily schedule, your work, friendships, your professional identity, and your daily sense of contributing to something, all of it, gone. How would you feel by week 3? That is the reality of retirement for millions of people in the United States, the UK, and Australia right now, even when it was planned, even when it was wanted. So the next time your father calls 3 times in 1 week, or your mother seems disinterested in things that used to light her up, don't brush it aside. And please don't offer a solution before you've offered an ear. Try asking a better question. Not, are you okay? because the answer to that is always, I'm fine. Instead, try what's been the best part of your week so far. Give them something to reflect forward on, not just inward, because the right conversation, asked at the right moment with the right intention, can be the first step towards someone finding themselves again. All right, let's get practical, because understanding the psychology is powerful, but it's only half the work. Let's talk about 3 evidence-based strategies that actually move the needle. Fix number 1, micro routines. Your brain does not need a full-time job, but it absolutely needs a predictable daily architecture. The research on cognitive aging is consistent on this point. People who maintain daily structure, even loose structure, retain sharper cognitive function and report significantly lower rates of depression and anxiety in retirement. So here is your practical starting point, and this works whether you are 55 or 82. Build a loose but consistent weekly calendar, not hour by hour, not a rigid corporate schedule, just anchor points throughout the day. A morning walk at the same time each day, a specific afternoon for grocery shopping, a Tuesday set aside for a hobby, a Friday evening ritual that you actually look forward to. These micro routines signal something important to your brain. The day has direction. I am moving towards something. That signal alone begins to shift the neurochemical environment in your brain, and the effects are measurable within weeks. Fix number 2, build a social portfolio. This one is critical, and most people never hear it framed in this way. Work gave you a social life almost by accident. You didn't have to try. Relationships formed because you were in the same building every day. Those casual conversations, the shared lunches, the knowing someone's children's names, that was social nourishment happening automatically in the background of your life. In retirement, that social infrastructure disappears, and most people don't notice the loss until they're already lonely. Psychologists use the concept of a social portfolio, a diversified mix of relationships and community connections. Just like a well-balanced financial portfolio, you want different types of connection. Close friends you can be honest with, casual acquaintances that keep you engaged with the world, group memberships that give you a sense of belonging and purpose, driven communities that connect you to something larger than yourself. Practically, this looks like joining a walking club, taking a class at a local community center, finding a hobby group, or attending a weekly community event. If you're in the UK or Australia, many local councils offer free or subsidized programs specifically designed for this. Search your local council website or ask at your GP surgery. Your nearest or library is an excellent starting point. The research here is absolutely unambiguous. Social connection in later life is the single greatest predictor of both mental and physical health. It outperforms diet, it outperforms exercise, it even outperforms genetics. That's not motivational talk. That's decades of longitudinal science. Fix number 3, low stakes contribution. Remember that generativity need. We talked about that deep biological requirement. Your brain has to feel useful. Here is one of the most powerful ways to feed it. Find somewhere to contribute with zero pressure on the outcome. Volunteering is one of the most well-studied interventions in the entire field of retirement psychology, and the findings are remarkable. Retirees who volunteer just 2 to 4 hours per week consistently report higher life satisfaction, lower rates of cognitive decline, stronger immune function, and a markedly greater sense of purpose compared to those who don't. But this does not have to be a formal volunteering role with an application in a lanyard. Could you mentor a young person in your former field? Could you offer to teach a skill at your local library? Could you help a neighbor with their garden or walk rescue dogs at a local shelter on weekday mornings? Your brain doesn't need the title. It doesn't need the salary. It just needs the lived experience of mattering. These 3 elements together, structure, connection, and contribution, form what psychologists call the purpose triangle. And when all 3 are active and intentional in your life, retirement stops feeling like an ending. It begins to feel like a new chapter you actually want to write. If you are retired and going through any of what we talked about today, or if you're watching this for someone you love, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right below this video and tell me, what is your biggest daily struggle right now? If this video opened something up for you or made you feel even slightly less alone in this, please share it. with a friend, with a sibling, with a parent who needs to hear that what they're going through has a name and that it has a way through. Subscribe to this channel because every single week we go deep into the psychology of aging purpose.